Well, hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Adam, thanks for hanging out with me again today. And today we're going to be building up the Konghead on the G601 chassis from Tamiya. So this kit I bought from Bai a while ago now, and it didn't come with an ESC, which is common from a Japanese kit. And it was missing the oil and the grease and stuff out of it, which was fine. I have plenty. But what I'm going to do in typical fashion is lay everything out on a bench, kind of give you guys a brief overview, and then I'm going to get the build done, do a picture montage of that, and then we'll come back and talk to you about, how the build went, and, you get to see it. So I'll be right back. Well, here is the finished Konghead. It is in the Tamiya metallic purple, and has the box art stickers on it. For the most part, I did change up a couple, but overall it's how it's supposed to look, except for instead of metallic blue, went with metallic purple. The only reason I went with metallic purple is just to do something different, and I have a pile of cars in the metallic blue already, so figured, same close enough family of colors, and it works well with the yellow of the decals on there. So I did put in a torque tune motor just to speed it up a little bit, and like I said, since this was a kit from Japan, it did not come with the ESC, so we just stuck the standard 1060 hobby wing in there, and then used the 6-channel radio link, I don't know, FG6 FSG something, I don't remember. It's the 6-channel with the gyro in it. just because they're kind of the easiest ones to get and reasonably priced for a 6-channel radio with a gyro in it. I think I get them for like 16 bucks something, 16, 17 bucks. So kind of best bang for the buck. And you know, if I do want to add lights to anything, I've got tons of channels. So we did set this up with 4-wheel steering. So the steering on the front works and the steering on the rear works. Now, obviously, it's probably going to take some tuning. With 4-wheel steering, it's going to turn a whole lot sharper. So I just don't want to, you know, flip it over constantly. But with the Radio Link transmitter, it's really easy to dial back both the front and the rear steering to, you know, keep it from, you know, doing donuts and flipping itself over when you don't want to. Now, obviously, donuts are fun, but when you're doing full speed and turn the wheel, you don't want it to try to do a donut. It looks great. The 6x6s are super cool. Now, I did not upgrade the suspension on this. It just has the standard friction shocks on there. The Volvo has the friction shocks on there, and it ran great. So I didn't really see a need to spend the money to buy 3 sets of shocks just to improve the ride quality by a tiny bit. Overall, basically the upgrade was the torque tune motor over the silver can, and that's about it. The 2 pain points that I could say for building this kit is, one, the price you have to pay to put bearings in there. There is a ton of bearings in here. 40 some, I think. I don't know, I'll put it down below what it is. But there is a ton of the 1150 bearings, and then there's a couple of the 850 bearings as well. Now, you don't have to use the 850 bearings. It does come with bushings, and it's basically for the steering. But at that point, I'd already dumped a pile of money into it for bearings for the whole drivetrain. So why not put 4 850 bearings in it? The other pain point, and it's not really a pain point, it's just slow, is taping off the body. Now, I did it a bit different, so some of that is on me. So by the design, Tamiya basically just wants you to tape off this whole roll bar area, the entirety of it, and just spray that silver, and then you put on these kind of like faux carbon fiber-ish looking stickers, and then you just paint this black, and then the rest of it's your main body color. These stickers do a good job covering it up, but it doesn't cover this little center section. So the sticker comes around in this way, and all of this shows. So I did not want that. So I was going to paint that black, and I figured, why not paint everything else black? You know, if a sticker gets dirty and nasty and starts peeling off, I can just peel the stickers off, and it will actually be black, and it'll still look like a true roll bar. Obviously, you don't have to go through that. You can just paint it the way Tamiya wants you to, and you could probably just tape off that little center section back here and just blast that black so it looks like, you know, a full roll bar. You know, taping this off wasn't bad. It's just taping this roll bar because you're taping in a curve, so, and tucked up way inside the body. So you're trying to do stuff and your meat mitts get in the way. You can't see what you're doing, and trying to get straight lines was tedious. So basically the way I had to go about it is I taped off the roll bars, the 5th wheel, and these fuel tanks and the grill, so they would all be the silver. Then I overlaid more tape over top of that to tape off the black, so I could spray the whole body color and get that done. And then I pulled off the black section, painted all that black, and then I finally came back and finished it off with the silver to paint in the grill, the front, paint in the front end, the roll bar, the tanks, and the 5th wheel. And then I just quickly just sprayed one final coat of black over everything, just so when you do flip the body over, everything is black. There's no multicolors when you look through the windows. But the rest of the build goes fine. Now, you are going to have a ton of leftover parts, especially if you don't do the rear steering. If you just do the front steering, you know, you've got parts after parts after parts left over. There's a lot of parts that do get used in the rear steering setup, but to accommodate for the rear steer, you get an extra bunch of parts, and then just in general, you're going to have a lot of parts left over. So don't freak out if you're building it and you're like, oh my god, there's like a bajillion pieces left on the parts tree. So there are parts trees galore left over once you're done building, which is great because it carries a lot of parts for this and the the GF01 cars, the WR cars, a lot of that stuff shares similar parts trees, so you may end up getting spares for your other cars in this on your parts tree. So it does work out really well. Yeah, overall, I really don't have anything bad to say about it. It was, like I said, the taping obviously took a long time. The amount of bearings that goes into it is painful, but thankfully I buy all mine in bulk. The bearing kits I saw ranged from $50 all the way up to like $85, depending on where you bought them from. So that's a significant price increase. So there's like 26 bearings alone in this transmission. You know, you have just gear after gear after gear after gear, which does create some drag. And then you start putting bushings in each one of those that are going to create a little bit of a drag. You know, you're slowing yourself down. So bearings throughout reduces the drag, reduces worries later on down the road. You know, I should never have to take this apart and work on it. It should just maintain a trouble-free life. Now, obviously, if you're going to put a big monster brushless motor in here, or you're going to take this thing mud bogging all the time, yeah, you're going to have issues down the road. You're going to be replacing gears and bearings and all kinds of stuff. At that point, you may as well just leave the bushings in there and just let it eat. And, you know, when it's time to rebuild, you're going to have to buy a whole new gear set and new bushings anyway. I don't know. Overall, I just love the look of it. It's a cool, funny truck. You know, it's a giant 6x6 monster semi. Is, you know, definitely a Tamiya idea. So this followed in the footsteps of the Bullhead, which was loosely based off of a monster truck. It was a giant Peterbilt. I don't know, I'll put the name of it down here. But this is kind of like a fallback of that original Bullhead design. You know, same cool giant Peterbilt kind of cab, and, you know, just a huge monster truck. Just has extra tires on there. Like I said, it looks awesome, and it should be a blast to drive. Now, I am going to get it out to drive some point today, so I can get that in the video. Unfortunately, it is all basically ice. There's very little bit of yard. Everything is still covered in just this hard-packed, you know, melt snow, hard-packed snow that was covered with some rain and ice the other day that is all frozen solid. I think the high today is supposed to maybe get up to the mid-20s, so I'll try to get out this afternoon and, you know, get something recorded. I'm pretty sure this thing is just going to skate around and slide all over the place on the hard pack stuff. But once the snow and ice finally melt away sometime this year, I will get it back out. We'll get it on the grass so we can actually get out there and do what it's supposed to do. Until then, everybody be happy, be healthy, be safe, and I will catch you on the next one. See you guys. Not what I wanted to do. soundtrack.